Go to makeship.com today by clicking the link in the upper right corner, the description, or the pinned comment to get your Wily today, because this is a limited time offer. The world of The Legend of Zelda was very different before the year 1998. It was flat, 2D, and limited in a lot of ways. But when Ocarina of Time finally hit the scene, all of this changed. They had a whole new semi-open world to explore that they had never seen before. However, at that point, rumors started to pop up about this world. Rumors regarding things we didn't see in the end. Entire worlds that were hidden in plain sight. But was any of this true? Where could they be found? And what happened to them in the end? Well, today we will finally dive headfirst into all of this to find out if any of it was ever true. And the answer will shock you, believe me. Now, Ocarina of Time was the 5th main installment of the Legend of Zelda series and was the first to be released for the Nintendo 64, a console that was able to make true 3D graphics. And because of this, it was one of the most highly anticipated games of its era, especially after people had seen what happened to Super Mario after it made the jump to 3D. And as we all know, Ocarina of Time didn't disappoint at all. Almost every Zelda fan loved it. However, while a lot of people were content with what they got and didn't question anything really, some others out there started digging into things as soon as the game came out. Some of the more famous examples of this are the rumors surrounding the original owner of the Lens of Truth, and whether you could obtain the triforce in the game. However, aside from those mysteries, that I might cover in future videos, there was another one which I also became a bit obsessed with. In the dark fortress surrounding Kokiri is an ancient and strange temple that many fear. I'm obviously talking about the Forest Temple, and we don't know a whole lot about this place. Sure, there are many videos out there covering its potential origins. Today we will look at something else. We are looking at the paintings found within the boss room of this dungeon, because back in the 90s a lot of rumors were floating around about these. Some people thought that there were actual worlds inside of them that the player could reach if they tried. And it's logical that people thought there was something inside of them because during the battle with Phantom Ganon, the boss would jump into one of the 6 paintings around the room. After this, it and 2 replicas would ride to the front of 3 paintings, and the player had to pick one and shoot at it with a bow as it came out of the painting. And if you messed up, you were gonna get hit by a lightning bolt. This was basically the first phase of the fight. Thanks to this, and the gap between dimensions that Ganondorf mentions when you defeat the boss and even creates a portal for that looks a lot like the one seen in the paintings, a lot of people thought those paintings would actually lead to somewhere if you could get to them. As you can imagine, this rumor spread incredibly fast, and a lot of people tried their hardest to get to one of those paintings and go through one of them. One thing they would try is a glitch called bomb hovering. This allowed you to go almost everywhere in the game, even to sections that are out of bounds, and all you needed was some good timing, skill, and a bunch of bombs. However, that wasn't the only thing they tried. As you can imagine, they used all kinds of tricks and glitches in order to reach those paintings so they can finally go through them and explore the hidden worlds behind them. But in the end, they didn't succeed, and so many fans felt defeated and gave up, thinking that the rumor was fake, which was the case with a lot of them back in the day. And so this one joined the list of long-forgotten rumors that were just hoaxes, according to many. But was this truly the case? Was it really based on hollow rumors, or was there some truth to all of this? Well, surprisingly enough, fans weren't far off, and in 2011, Nintendo finally gave us some clarity thanks to the many interviews that came out when the 3DS remake of the game was released. Now, as we all know, the mid-1990s saw a lot of developers struggling with how to approach 3D gaming for the very first time. But Nintendo had knocked it out of the park with Super Mario 64. That title launched with the Nintendo 64 to massive acclaim, and this also influenced the first 3D Zelda game in a lot of ways. Ocarina of Time was influenced by the Super Mario title in early development in quite an interesting way. The team working on the title thought about giving the game a hub world just like we see in Super Mario 64. Actually, if you think about it, many games at the time had some sort of hub world, like Rayman 2, Banjo-Kazooie, and many others. And so originally, Ganon's castle would have operated the same way as Peach's castle did in Super Mario 64, with Link reaching new areas through portals. And in order to achieve this, they wanted to do it in a similar way to what we saw in the Super Mario title, using magical paintings. Back when they started making Ocarina of Time, they didn't know how big of a game they would be able to make with the memory constraints. And so they were experimenting with the idea of Link adventuring in Ganon's castle, and inside there would be portals to levels. So in that case, Link wouldn't be able to leave the castle at all. You can even see traces of this in the final game since its design is still reminiscent of a hub world. There are 6 different wings after all, with small challenges that would prevent you from progressing if you didn't have the right items. And at the end there's even a room with enough space for a painting leading to a brand new world. Personally, I think they didn't really alter Ganon's castle much, even though they abandoned the idea of a hub world at some point. Because in the end, they managed to create a more open world setting for Ocarina of Time. Although I bet it was very hard to make this possible, because in the end, the frame rate in Ocarina of Time isn't that great. And so, the hub world with portals idea was eventually reused for the fight with Phantom Ganon, who goes in and out of paintings. And you could even argue that it might have influenced the Link Between Worlds. So in the end, the fans who thought there was actually something inside of these paintings were right. They are indeed portals to another world. Now sure, in the end players can't use them, but the rumor that was floating around wasn't a lie. And if the development of the game went differently, we would have had portals inside of paintings, like we see in so many 3D games of the same era. However, since the painting seen in the Force Temple was originally a portal to another world, where would it lead to? Well, it looks like some sort of spiraled mountain surrounded by a creepy and barren forest. And personally, I think it looks a bit like Ganon's castle from a distance. It is the only thing that makes sense if you look around Hyrule. However, I gotta admit, another thing that would make sense is the Force Temple itself. Especially the version we see on the N64 could work. But it could have also led to a specific dungeon that was never added to the game. A lot of stuff from this fight was scrapped content from the beginning months of development after all. But be sure to let me know down below in the comments what you think. So in the end, there is some truth to this rumor. Sure, you couldn't go inside of these paintings to find a new world, but Nintendo was working on such a concept. However, this isn't the only rumor going around the Zelda community, because there was also a leaked trailer and cartridge for Twilight Princess on the 3DS, which I also covered in a video, so go check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell button so you won't miss any future stuff. Leave a like and tell me in the comments what you think about this video or what you want to see next. And then I'm gonna end this video with a kiss. Mwah!